Hey YouTube, Airsoft Prodigy Jake back with another video. In this video I'm going to be showing how to make a foam airsoft suppressor. So what you'll need is you'll need a marker, doesn't matter if it's Expo or Sharpie. I couldn't find a Sharpie, so Expo is going to work. This you don't need, this was just my previous airsoft suppressor insert. You're going to need the airsoft suppressor that has removable ends. I'm pretty sure they all do. So here's both ends there and there. The gun you're going to put it on. Mine is a 1911 TAC. The hammer is broken on it, but it still works. And it has a Punisher compensator on the front. Then you don't need this, but a styrofoam cutter is helpful. And then you're going to need foam. Preferably porous foam. You're not going to want to use like clean face styrofoam. It's just gonna have to have like a lot of holes in it to dissipate the sound of the airsoft gun, which there isn't really a lot of sound in it anyway. But yeah, let's get to building. So first step, if you already tried making an airsoft suppressor and you have the insert lying around like I do, I have a couple of these inserts for different airsoft suppressors that I've had. Or actually, it's called a silencer because the patent for it says silencer. It suppresses the gunshot, but it is a silencer, even though it's not silent. So I went ahead, I put that there, and I traced it out. I don't know if that's going to fit. I'm going to have to cut inside the line, or inside the circle, because this is just barely fit into the suppressor, or a silencer. So, yeah, I'll cut this out, and I'll see if that styrofoam cutter works. This is going to be my first time using it. Okay, so the styrofoam cutter works really well. A styrofoam cutter is just a metal rod that heats up and melts the styrofoam so that it's easier to cut it. This cylinder works perfectly inside the silencer. And basically what you're going to want to do now is you're going to want to cut different holes of different diameters into each one. I'm going to cut this in half, and then I guess I'm going to cut different diameter holes in each one. But you want to make sure that the smallest diameter hole is still more than 6 millimeters, so the BB can still pass through it without breaking it. And yeah, let's get to that. Also, to put some history on a silencer, it was invented in 1902 by Hiram Percy Maxim. He patented it in 1909, but both of those are before the First World War. Even though silencers were not used in the First World War, they were starting to get use in the Second World War. But yeah, they have some history to them. If you want to research it, it's pretty interesting. Okay, so what I did was I cut the hole down the middle and I chopped it in half, so it's half the height of the styrofoam I'm cutting it from. And styrofoam is pretty messy. It kind of looks like glitter when it's all crumbed up in pieces or whatever. But so you're going to want to do this a couple more times until you have as many as it takes to fill the silencer. Some silencers are longer than others. Like I have a bigger silencer back in the other room that I broke the threads off it, so instead of 14 millimeter negative, the only threads I have that work for it are 14 millimeter positive. And I don't think the threads that I have for this silencer I can take out and put in the other one. So the other one's just a useless tube sitting right now. So I'm not going to try to make anything for it until I can buy more threads for it, or get another gun that has threads to put a silencer on. Airsoft gun, by the way, not real. So the way these foam pieces are going to work, they're going to work like the baffles in a real silencer. So the BB passes through, and so does the gas pushing it. All that gas is going to get caught up in this styrofoam. But why you want varying diameters of hole, which I didn't do for these two, is because there's going to be more space in one than there is in the other. So all the gas is going to get caught up in the one with the most space, and it's not going to be able to pass through the silencer because it's going to get caught up in the baffle with the smaller hole, I guess, is the only best way I can explain that. I'd have to talk to you in person to explain it better. But if you're watching this video, you probably are a little mechanically inclined and understand the point of what I'm trying to make. Okay, there, I think these are mismatched. I'm pretty sure this was over here and that was like that. Either way, I widened the hole in this one, and this one stayed the same. This one looks more like a triangle, by the way. Either way, it doesn't matter. As long as the BB can pass through it, it's fine. So the reason you want this is to go there, and now you can see that there's like a little ledge. Also, all these little hairs and stuff on the inside, they're going to come out with the first couple shots. Obviously, it will affect the trajectory of the BB, making the gun less accurate until you put about, like, I don't know, I'd say like 20 shots should get all of those out of there. But, yeah, so that ledge there is what's going to get all the gas trapped in this one, and I guess it's just going to muffle the sound a little bit. Obviously, with airsoft guns, the sound comes more from the slide and the recoil of it than the actual shot of the BB, because the BB isn't supersonic, so the BB doesn't make any sound, and I guess the gas probably makes a little bit of sound. But yeah, airsoft silencers aren't really meant to work amazing like a real one, even though real silencers don't even work well either. They only take about, I guess, 10 decibels off of the shot in close quarters within like 50 yards. Past 200 yards, the shot sounds equally loud with a silencer or without, because it's the bullet making the sound and not the gun. Okay, there, so I cut out this second one, so this is going to be turned into 2 more of those. It's not a perfect circle, but I mean, it's the best I could do. Or probably not the best I could do. Again, this is my first time using a styrofoam cutter. Also, I'm doing this inside, and I have a fan on and a door open. So don't stay in a closed room if you're cutting styrofoam, because the gases that get put out from melting styrofoam is very toxic for your lungs. Okay, so I got done cutting the 1 1/2, which one was it? Oh, never mind. So the way you want to do it when you put it inside of the airsoft gun, or airsoft silencer, is you want to go the one with the little hole first, then you want to move to the one with the big hole, then little hole again, and then big hole again. Nobody say that's what she said, because I know there's a lot of people thinking that. Either way, it doesn't matter. So when I line it up with the silencer, the threads go to about there and there on both sides. So I'm thinking I could only be able to fit about 2 or maybe 3 more in. And I'm not going to try 3, because then I would just be left off with 1 extra one of these. So now what you want to do is you want to finish it off. Never mind, since there's only 2 left, you're going to still do another small hole and big hole one, which is basically 1 circle cut out of that. But you want to line it up so that both ends have a small circle hole for the intake and outtake of the airsoft BB. Then for this one, it's going to go little hole, big hole, little hole, big hole. Then it's going to go big hole and little hole. So there's 2 at the very end that are going to have a big hole. That's so that the leftover gas can build up in there and then get suppressed by the last little hole at the end. It should work pretty well. I don't think I'm going to put a shooting test of it on here, but I might. Depends on how I feel when I'm done, because I have a broken foot right now, so it's kind of difficult to move around. Okay, there, I do think I am done with the cutting now, but I guess I will see. So what you should be left with is, if you're using a small silencer like me for a pistol or something, then you should have 6. I forget how many millimeters long that is, but it's one of these. It's a horrible paint job. It's when I first started painting stuff. I wanted to try to paint the airsoft suppressor before I used a gun. Airsoft gun again to paint, even though it probably is the same process painting a real gun. But all of the real guns are made of wood and everything. Or not all of the real ones, but all the ones that are here are made of wood, so like there's really nothing to paint besides the barrel, which isn't real good. But so yeah, horrible paint job. But this is the silencer I'm using. I'm using the Soldier of Steel one, but it's on Evike for I think $60. But I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to use 6 baffles for it. So what I'm gonna do is order them 1 little one to 1 big one. I had to find the right big one. There's a little bit of strings going on here. Hold up, because it's all melted styrofoam, so it kind of strings out like cotton candy. So little hole, big hole, little hole, big hole, right? Yep, and now big hole, little hole. So this is the beginning of the silencer, this is the end of the silencer, and you're going to want to stack them on top of each other so that it goes in a row like this. So these 2 baffles are going to catch the very last puff of gas to push the BB out, and it's going to make the gas, and if the BB makes any sound, silent, or pretty close to silent. Again, I don't know if I'm going to put a shooting test in here because of problems with my face and airsoft guns in the same video, but hopefully sometime in the future that's going to get resolved and I'm going to be able to make videos that I want to make again. But yeah, let's put this all together and I'll show you guys the outcome. Okay, so it worked perfectly. I'm using the flashlight to show all the little hairs on the inside of it, but so the threading goes straight to it on both sides, which is perfect, so then it can get tightened up real well. But all these hairs should come out with the first couple shots. I'm going to try to clean them up with the styrofoam cutter, and yeah, let's see if either of those work. Okay, so the next step is to put the ends on the end of the silencer. This is how it looks. I think it's actually hard to tell on camera, but yeah, you can't really see the opening on either end. But in real life, you can see the opening on either end. What you want to do now is take the styrofoam cutter, and luckily for me, the styrofoam cutter is actually longer than the silencer, so you want to stick it through the barrel and I guess clean it up to where it's the same diameter of the out hole and the in hole. The in hole should be 14 millimeters, but I guess that little diameter hole in there is oh, never mind, you can see it. If I put my finger there, you can see the hole. But that little hole there, I'm guessing is maybe 7 millimeters or 6 millimeters. No, it wouldn't be 6 millimeters. Maybe 6.5 millimeters to 7 millimeters. Because an airsoft BB is like 5.95 to 5.98 millimeters. But yeah, I'll try to hollow out that hole a little bit more. Okay, there. So that actually worked amazing. It took all of those fibers or whatever on the inside and just kind of took them away, melted them, disintegrated them. But so if there were any circles in there that were smaller diameter than the BB, they just got hollowed out to be a normal size diameter. So now all the small holes should be the same diameter about. But yeah, it looks a lot nicer than it did before. So maybe if I'm going to do a shooting test, I'd put it in about here. But again, still trying to figure out if that's a good idea or not. And it would delay the video about a day, because then right now it's like night, so I'd need to wait until the morning or something to do that. Yeah, so it's either going to be the end of the video or the shooting test. So if I don't get to see you guys for the shooting test, then I guess Airsoft Prodigy Jake is out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, time for the shooting test. I have the airsoft pistol there, the 1911 TAC, and I have the silencer that I just finished making, or last night, but still just finished. I have the tripod, and I'm at the low budget shooting gallery for airsoft. So it is, the targets are all adjustable. They're all on one stick attached by strings to other sticks there and there. That's 5 yards away, or really it's probably about 7 or 8 from where I am, but from the sawhorses it's 5 yards away. And then I have another set way down there, that's at 10 yards, and then another there, that's 15 yards. I forget if I have 20, no, I don't think I have 20, but I'm gonna set up 20 yards, but I mean really, I'm only using this shooting range for a pistol. And I only have it at 5 yards because I'm never going to get into an engagement like closer than that. That's what I have the sniper rifle for. Because at the field I go to, there's no minimum engagement distance for a sniper, except for the bang bang rule, which I think is 10 feet or 5 feet away. So really 5 yards is the closest I'm ever going to be shooting at somebody with the pistol. So I don't need to be accurate to like 50 yards or anything. I just need to be accurate for close range. But yeah, let's get to the shooting test. Okay, so that should wrap up the video. So while I was in editing, I did notice that my editing software likes to change the volumes on me a lot. So like towards the end of the videos, like towards the end of the clips, it'll kind of fade out the clip and then fade in the new clip, like audio-wise, and it's real weird. But it also tries to make all of the audio clips about the same volume. So the silencer clips are pretty close to the same volume as the no silencer clips, but when I was shooting it, I did hear a difference. Just being close to it, I heard that difference too. And my phone didn't pick it up, or my phone the original clips did pick it up, but there's no way for me to put the original clips in without the editing software that I'm using. And so it'll just sound the same both times. But, I mean, it is what it is. Hopefully you guys can take my word for it that it works. But, also, you can see that it kind of made like a little keyhole in here. That wasn't from a BB. That was because I didn't wait until the styrofoam cutter was all the way through both of the holes, through there and through there. And it started melting this styrofoam piece before it got all the way through to the other hole. It didn't affect anything. I just put it towards the entrance hole so that it didn't really matter anyway. But yeah, hopefully you guys learned something new. Hopefully you guys can replicate it. Give me some more ideas on what to build. And I will see you guys in the next video.